welcome. I'm just saying from It Starts With a Dream, and this is the channel which is all about goal setting, designing your life, crafting your dreams, mindset, habits, also design and entrepreneurship and things like that. And today I wanted to talk about this idea of stepping stones, basically when everything goes wrong in life or business. Now, we've all been through those things. We've all been through situations that just did not go how we wanted, hoped, or imagined. Sometimes through no fault of our own, like we did all the right things, and other times because of mistakes we've made, like that is life. And I was thinking back to like some of the ones that I've experienced. And I realized that most of them, pretty much all of them, had always led me onto something better. And at the time, it didn't really feel like that. When I look back, I'm always glad I've moved on to something new, something better. I've grown through that. I've learned some things. I've developed. And that's not to say that I don't personally believe bad things happen to teach us a lesson or anything like that. That's not what I believe. But I do believe that life is life, and sometimes these things do. But in that, we can learn and we can grow and go on to something better. So I was particularly thinking about last year which I've shared before, but basically Etsy, they featured me. I had crazy amount of sales coming through, and then my shop was like taken off search, was basically like shut. You couldn't find me on search. You could only find me if you like have my link. And that automatically happens to stop to help, in their words, to help creators grow their businesses sustainably. So if you're making things by hand and you suddenly get like 1,000 candles and you only usually make like 100, that could be an issue. So they don't want their customers to be left with getting their products late or not made to the usual good quality. But it's still annoying when it happens. It was horrible. I was like, I'd never seen so many sales in my life. It was so exciting. It was just like, wow, if even I could keep up like even a half or a third of this after this period, like that would have been life changing to me. That would have been my part-time income from when I was working in fashion. So I was so excited. And then like dreams dashed within, I think it was like maybe a week later. It was so quick. And yeah, so obviously I emailed them and stuff, and I wasn't making them myself because it's my planners that I will have a work with a supplier with. But didn't really matter. The fact that I had digital products already in there that could still be sold and not be affected by making times, that also didn't seem to make a difference. Unfortunately, just get blanket replies. So that was a really tough one. That was a toughie. Through that, my store hadn't really recovered. And at the same time, I also then faced a bug in Pinterest which marked me as spam by mistake, which meant that it's like it pushes you down on the search again, affects you with the algorithm. Your pins don't get shown. So I was like riding high, like come Christmas, that's my best time of the year, with planners and goal setting, doing really like it, riding high. Like, I don't know, I can't remember now, but like one Christmas it was like 1 million views, like 1 million monthly views or whatever. However, I can't remember what the phrase is. To go from there and then like it's just crashing. I just see it going down and down and down until it got to like where it kind of is around now, between like 150,000 to 250,000 if I'm like pinning every day. So that also really was rubbish. That was horrible. And basically those two things happened together, and I lost like about 90% of my sales and traffic that goes to my store, to go to my website, things like that. And yeah, to lose income, to lose money that you start getting used to, views you were starting to get used to. It's hard. It affects, my business has been affected. Thankfully my husband works and I'm in that privileged position of like, he works, he's doing well. I can pay the bills and everything. So But not everyone is in that position. So I do get it when those things happen. For some, it could be even worse, and like my sympathy goes to you. So those two things happen, and my old reaction would be to go into some kind of hustle mode of, okay, let's make this work. Like, let's pin a million things every day. Like, let's make like 100 blog posts. Let's just do loads of blog posts and keep pushing them out, and do loads of posts on social, and just like work. And I'm not about that anymore. I can't do that. I did it for a period, right? There's early days of growing my business, really pushing, like I was still working, and then I'll be doing like late nights and stuff like that. But it does affect my health. I have got condition called ankylosing spondylitis. Well, it is, I have those symptoms, but they don't quite give it a label. It doesn't tick all the boxes, but it's autoimmune. And when I am not sitting at my desk all day, all evening, I'm not moving around, I'm like not eating, like making good food for myself, I'm not getting good sleep, like that affects me, it affects my health, it affects my mental health. So I don't want to go back to those days. So I just took it as a chance to, I guess, slow things down and pause and take time to figure things out. So you might be going through something again that's happened, maybe it's in your life or maybe it's in your business, and your inside reaction tends to be like, I have to do to like fix this. And I just feel like sometimes then it's a chance for us to like actually pause and reflect and look at what's going on. So I call these, thinking about this idea of stepping stones, and these things haven't been stepping stones in our lives. And like I said, each one has taken me on to a new place, into something better and better and better. Some key things at that time is like thinking, okay, everything's broken, or like there's nothing to lose, like there's nothing left to lose. That's what I was thinking last year. I've got nothing to lose, like 10% of sales left. Like that's just nothing. That's like nothing to lose. Like I could go and get like a 1-day shift in Tesco and like recover that sort of thing. There's nothing left to lose there. So in a way it frees you up to start from scratch, or not from scratch, but to like decide again, to define and redefine what it is that you want, what it is that you're working to. How do you want your life to look like? What wasn't working before? When some things I'd look at and I would just think, well, I had to do X, Y, and Z to get that going and to keep it steady. Like I can't sustain that. It's a way for me to rebuild in a way that's more sustainable, like in a way that I enjoy, that's more fun, things like that. That's not, me sitting at the desk till 1 a.m. So it really gives you a chance to kind of look and evaluate and think about what's important. Is this actually still important? Do I even still care about this niche or this area or this thing that was in life? Do I have I outgrown it? Is it time to like do something new? I'm too big for that space. I've outgrown that idea, I've outgrown that thinking. As you are growing and developing, your mindset shifts on, and sometimes you're still doing things in the old way, and it's actually time to expand and do something in a bigger way, which will require more of you. It will require, when I say more of you, like not more hours per se, but it will require for you to step out more and to like believe in yourself more and to share your message more and your voice, things like that. And I'm saying that because like that's been where I'm at. So for me, when I look, I'm going to just share like life and business and how it brought me here. It's like, first of all, going through postnatal depression, that was horrible, and I felt like a victim in life, and there was things that happening that made it worse, like a work situation where I thought I was going to be made redundant on maternity leave, and then later on another work situation where I basically got penalized because I chose to be with my son for his first day of school. And those things just made me feel so helpless and just like I'm a victim of life. Things are just happening to me. When I started my first business, which is a physical products business, I was blown away by what I actually achieved. Like before that, I really didn't believe that I could do it. I really didn't have much self-confidence in myself and what I could do in terms of creating a business, and that was completely new. I've always had a job and been like a worker in that sense, and I've always had more of that mindset of like I follow instructions, and I had to like start thinking in a new way where it's like I get to decide what's going on. I have to think about it. I have to come up with ideas. There's no one to really go, oh, is this the right thing, or is this, what do I do? There's not really people to ask, so you have to start making decisions and trusting yourself as well. That business, I finished it because I realized that I basically was too expensive to keep going in the way it was. Like I had to spend a lot on ads to keep things selling. That was through like Amazon, eBay, and then I thought, okay, if I want this to be a brand outside of Amazon and I don't just want to like have to throw ad money in to keep it going, then it needs to be a brand. And what's a brand? Brand is like finding your people, or the people that would follow it, who would be, love the products, and who are they, what's their lifestyle, and then creating a community around it and creating content. And I realized I wasn't really passionate about the niche that I saw was the actual people buying, not who I imagined was buying. And it gave me a chance, like I said, then to think, okay, what do I want to take on forward from this? Like what I've learned, like I had grown so much in my confidence that I was like, this is just amazing. Like if every woman that had felt like me could start something of her own and just see like what she can achieve, like how it changes you, how you build your confidence, and you realize like you can make decisions and you can I guess design your life. I thought like that's amazing, like I want to share that. So I started sharing that through Called Out Living, which then I renamed to It Starts With a Dream. And that's always been about things that have helped me design my life, I guess take ownership of my life and my decisions, step out of my comfort zone, do things even though I have been scared, though I do still have anxiety, I still go through low moods sometimes, but things where I can take care of myself and I can come out of those moods easier. They don't stop me from making progress in life and things like that. And that's what I've loved doing, and that's what this last, I guess, 4 or 5 years has been. And then now I was just like, okay, so traffic's low, things are like not great. How do I move this forward? Like, here's my chance again to define and redefine, to choose it again. Is what wasn't working for me, like what do I want to take into my future? I get to almost start from scratch, like resetting the foundation. If what wasn't working, the things that didn't work, why just carry on? Why take them in? Like I have nothing to lose right now, so how about you create it intentionally where you are and like rebuild. And what I see and what I've seen is like I love making, I love designing, and anything that comes with designing, like colors, patterns, I guess branding. I love coming up with an idea of like a brand, or this customer or this planner, and looking at trends and product development. And like that's all come from my history in fashion. And I was like shying away from it because I think I had been like burnt with work, like most people do. You have some bad experiences, and I just was like, I put like a closed door on fashion. Like I was like, oh, I don't even want to think about it like right now. And I just like parked it over there, and I didn't really bring that into like my business with what I'm doing that much. And I've just slowly been realizing like that is like part of my gift. That's what makes me unique. I don't want to hide it away or like separate it. Actually, I need to bring more of that into my business. And that was something like what I realized during this time of like, what do I care about, what's important, what is, I guess, what's unique about me, where are my skills and my experience. And it's just like I want to bring all those pieces together, and I can still do that. Like I can still make planners, but maybe like planners won't be just my focus, like selling planners. I also love like creating things, coming up with brands. I also love sharing what I know, like as in teaching, like I guess the design side with my course on printing your physical planners with print on demand. I realized I actually really like sharing like the how to. So I'm bringing in again more of my experience, like with trends and market research, and coming up with a look aesthetic. I guess it comes under brand. It can also comes under branding and stuff like that. And then all these skills that I have actually learned from doing this, like with building like a website or funnels, or making a landing page, making opt-in, connecting all together, building an email list, and then the mindset side, because I'm in different coaching programs or like reading books and things like that. So I've been coached, and then I coach myself in that sense, and then I can share that and coach others through what we're doing. You can coach someone as you're like working with them and they're creating an opt-in. You find yourself, you can coach them through it. Like they're going, oh, I'm really scared to put this out, like this is terrible, what if no one signs up for it? And then I just find myself like coaching them through that, and what can happen, and seeing as experiment and things like that. So all these things just come together, and it's all part of the journey. Like it's all like stepping stones. So now I find myself kind of leaning into like the creative services that I offer. I was sort of dabbling with that. Like basically all the people I'd worked with had sort of approached me and said, "Oh, can you help me create a planner, or can you help me with a digital planner, or create a printable," things like that. But now I'm being intentional. I'm like, this has got legs. Like if I look back at last year, where a good portion of income came from, when my traffic went, it was like from my services. um and it's like my skill, that's something that I'm good at, that's something that I enjoy. And that doesn't mean that I'm not doing like the coaching side or designing your life, because actually what I find when I am like talking to people and working with them is like they've obviously got big dreams, and knowing their dreams, and then figuring how I can like help them, as in like fill in these missing pieces. If they're not creative or they're not tech savvy, then that's where I come in and help them go for their dreams. So it's just looks slightly different than being a coach. um so those are just some ways where it's like it all comes together and it's a stepping stone. And maybe in 5 years time I won't be offering services, who knows, but it's led me here. So I'm going to just explore this, I'm going to try it. And that's what I'd say to you is like, what have you, all the things you've done and all your life experience, okay, what's it led to you now? What are you good at? What ways do people sort of come to you for help or advice? What experiences have you lived through and grown through, and I guess survived and overcome? All of that is part of this this unique package of you, what you have, what you can share, what you can help other people with. And yeah, it is horrible when the thing you thought was going to be the thing falls apart, doesn't look like you thought. um that opportunity doesn't work out. It's like crushing. But okay, what can it take you on to? Imagine if that had worked. Where are the gaps where you in 5 years time you'd be like, oh, I don't like this about it, I'm not enjoying that, etc., etc. How about you be intentionally, purposely right now design for the next phase the things that you do love and the things that did work, and you take out the things that didn't. Of course, it's like you never stop, because as you start living out this next section, then you'll find those things, new things, and you'll have to learn new things about yourself and how you work, and your life will change. So it's always ongoing, this idea of like this shuffling, designing, redesigning, choosing again. What do I choose today? What do I want to take into my future? But those are some sort of questions and thoughts that might help you out of a bit of a situation. I also have a planner called the Pause Planner, which is like if you've been through a bit of a crisis in life, and just to like reflect and kind of journal on some things that happened, and then get clarity and sort of think about, actually, okay, now how do I want to move forward? And then it has 90 days of 90 days with a one-page planner for that day, and then one page for that day, like some just like a couple of journaling prompts. So it won't like take you like an hour every day or anything. So you can find that in my shop. You can get that from the Etsy shop, etsy.com/shop/it starts with the dream. Yeah, so that's just one product that I have. But even if you just get a piece of paper and just think about some of the questions that were asked and just write it down in journal and and just take a bit of time to think about what you've come through, what you've learned, what you enjoyed, what do you like don't want to take into your future, what do you do want to take into your future, where can you make it simpler, where can you add more fun, make it more joyful, where can you like share more of you. Like I said, I wasn't really sharing my product development side, and it's like why wouldn't I do that? I went to uni for that. I worked for 15 plus years in in the UK high street fashion industry, so why would I not share that and bring that through? But we're blind to like we're blind to what we have to offer. Anyway, I hope that's helped you. Yeah, we're going through changes, but these changes are going to help us grow. These changes are going to help us find better and move into like a better place. So don't give up. Don't give up. Have a cry if you need to, moan if you need to, grieve grieve for a period if you need to, and then think about, okay, where do I want to go forward? Right, thank you for listening, thank you for watching. If it was helpful, like, share, subscribe.